Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching IntoOblivion, playing in the Tier 8 French Premium Tank Destroyer. It's the brand new AMX CDA 105. Now, this vehicle, it's a bit of a weird tank destroyer. Usually tank destroyers have a gigantic gun, or at least, should we say, the premium tank destroyers that have been going into the game recently. And when you start to get to Tier 8, you do expect a vehicle to have a large caliber gun, unless you're playing something like a Charioteer, for example. And wow, patch next week, Charioteer, 10 degrees of gun depression, one of my favorite vehicles in the game. I can't wait for checking that out. But this vehicle, with that 105mm, you'd expect it to have a really good rate of fire as well, but it just doesn't. 5.22 rounds a minute. It's just such a weird tank. It's kind of got some mobility, we can see, with a 55 km an hour top speed limit and a whopping power to weight ratio of 26.79, which makes this ludicrously quick. And even backwards at 18 km an hour, that is a massive strength, because it's hard to flank a tank destroyer that can reverse at 18 km an hour. What the hell? Looks like IntoOblivion uses some kind of real weird mod pack here with some kind of smooth scroll, because every time he fires, we can see that it pops out. That's going to be incredibly annoying, but we're going to have to deal with it anyway. So this vehicle, the 105mm, while it might not have the highest alpha damage for a Tier 8 tank destroyer, it might not have the most crazy rate of fire. It's kind of like the E50M of Tier 8 premium tank destroyers, because it's actually really accurate. We're talking about 0.3 accuracy to be exact, making it one of the most accurate tanks in the game. Also, its dispersion values are not too bad. It's got 2-second aim time as well, which means that it barely has to aim at its targets. And its gun arc is pretty decent as well. Its gun traverse range is 10 degrees to the left and 10 degrees to the right. That's not bad, but of course it's not going to be as good as having a turret, for example, on the Scorpion G. So you might be wondering, well, what actually makes this vehicle really special then? Yeah, a bit of mobility, a bit of accuracy, a rather mediocre gun, but at least its soft statistics are cool. But one of the coolest things about this tank is that it's got 8 degrees of gun depression. Do you see how IntoOblivion is able to work this ridgeline here? Unfortunately, unable to penetrate the turret of the VK4502B there, but his position is just absolutely ludicrous right now, and I don't think the enemies have really even figured it out, because he's been doing some fantastic work with reversing behind the bushes to no longer be spotted, and then to stay out of harm's way for a significant amount of time to get the enemies to forget about him, and then he goes up, he pops up, he has another peek, he sees if he gets spotted, he's looking for an opportunity. He seems to play these kind of trapdoor spiders, tank destroyers very well, the ones that want to poke up, pull off a shot, pull back, and be a little bit sneaky. And this VK, even though he's the top tier heavy tank, and he's also clearly a very experienced and pretty darn good player as well, he just completely ignores IntoOblivion here, focusing on the AT-15 who's down below in the town, keeping his armor towards him. And I think the T-32 realizes what's going on right now. The T-32, you saw him point his turret just a little bit towards Oblivion, but he realizes what can he do if he gives his side to the AT-15. Then the AT-15 is just going to butcher him, and even the AT-15 can go through his lower plate, and with 1,500 hit points at Tier 8, that British tank destroyer is able to weather the storm. And because IntoOblivion took this position up here and he's created this incredible crossfire, he's done 4,200 damage in 4 minutes. And when you consider this vehicle's base DPM is 2,000, that means that he's firing, I guess, probably about 40% of the time after the reload. Yeah, more 70% DPM memes from the stream, right, guys? Unfortunately, IntoOblivion somehow manages to track a Scorpion without damaging him. And that Scorpion, I believe, has, is it 1mm of armor? Or it might be slightly more. I think it might be 1mm. And so you think that you would be able to overmatch that with the APCR rounds on this vehicle, but that wasn't the case. Oblivion also tracks the Jagdpanther, but manages to finish him off there. Great stuff, picking up his 4th kill, and he's really doing some fantastic work here with this AT-15. Oh, his name is Guyver. He might as well be called MacGyver with what he's trying to get through this situation with. He seems to be, well, unfortunately Guyver's dead now. But it looks like he was managing to magic his way through this situation with nothing more than a band-aid and a pencil. Anyway, talking about tier 8 premium tank destroyers, that Scorpion G, how many of them are there on the server, by the way? I don't know about you guys, but for me, I always seem to just get absolutely smashed by Scorpion Gs. But not a Scorpion G. The Scorpion, the American tier 7 premium tank destroyer, tries to make his way towards him. And IntoOblivion obviously knows how thin the armor is and tries to fire a high explosive round to do some extra damage, but only manages to do 171. The Lorraine 40T manages to penetrate IntoOblivion for the first time this game. Don't really want to mess around with that auto-loading French tier 8 vehicle. But IntoOblivion decides that he's got to make a move right now. He misses, unfortunately, against the Scorpion, bounces a shot, rams him for what was that? How much ramming damage was that? 275 in total, and look at this beautiful play. Instead of focusing on the Scorpion, he kills the auto-loader. The Scorpion fails to go through the side of the vehicle and the tracks, but the Scorpion seems to shoot the side of the vehicle, but oh my word, he didn't shoot the tracks. Massive mistake, Mr. Scorpion, because IntoOblivion should be able to turn the tank around and take advantage of taking you out. Wow, clutch plays there by IntoOblivion. I love what he did. The way that he was getting pressured by the artillery, right? 358 damage received. He had to go aggressive. And there's the other artillery shell. Probably noticed that they were in a platoon together. They're likely to work against him. Now IntoOblivion has spotted the T-29 and fires in third person through the bush. That was a bit peculiar there. Nice clutch shot into the top of the tier 7 American heavy tank. So, IntoOblivion pulling off a storm right now in the AMX CDA 105. Now with 2 tanks left on the enemy team and an Su-152 just approaching up the eastern flank, where do you think that Object 432 will be going? That's something that you've got to be definitely thinking about in this vehicle right now. Now if I was the 430, I would probably be maybe trying to spot the ridge. I might come back here, but we don't know. Maybe the 430 is trying to make his way around here at the moment. Maybe he's going to go towards the cap circle. It's hard to say. If the 430 starts to cap, the mobility of the CDA will allow IntoOblivion to be able to get back towards the spawn. We'll have to see if that's going to happen. Now, IntoOblivion is making it known to his team that he's feeling quite nervous now, apparently, with some words. I'm not going to say exactly what he said. It's not very family friendly, I guess. But you can imagine what kind of his nerves are racked now. You know, he's probably sweating, shaking a little bit. We'll have to see if he's able to find the S51 when his binoculars activate. There you go. Not sure if it was him or if instead it was the Su-152, but the result is the same. He doesn't get spotted there, which means that he'll probably have the element of surprise over the Tier 9 Soviet medium tank. The Object 432 does have some impressive frontal armor. It's a side-scraping monster as well, but it's got really poor gun depression, unlike the vehicle that IntoOblivion is in. And so if he can manage to work the ridge lines against the 432 or even track him twice, it doesn't matter if he's on 107 hit points, he should still be able to do some good work. Now I like this ambush they're setting up here. Clearly the 432 knows where they are as they just killed his tank destroyer. Now what will the 432 be doing? Will he go along the south? Has he tried to flank around? Maybe he could have even gone towards this area and try and lock down this flank. If he gets above IntoOblivion, it's probably going to be a little bit awkward for him. But right now, it's just about being the sneaky tank destroyer, sitting there, keeping calm with your camo net and seeing what's going to happen. But oh wait! Oh, and time to not keep calm actually as the 432 sneaks up behind IntoOblivion. He reacts very quickly there, and the Object 432 seems to be giving chase, seeing a weak French Tier 8 tank destroyer running away. And when I say weak, I mean with regards to its hit points. Don't try and turn this into another E50M. Okay, so the 432 rushes straight down. He misses the shot. IntoOblivion puts his first round in. And look now, the Su-152 is in the perfect situation. Oh my word, a heat ricochet off the side of the vehicle. Now he must be panicking. Whoa, he did not handle that situation very well. But IntoOblivion played it perfect, and he created a crossfire, albeit with a tank destroyer so many tiers lower than the Tier 9 Soviet medium tank opposition. And what a clutch victory here. 7,300 damage done in just over 9 minutes of 1,283 assistance damage. What a monster carry. IntoOblivion scores a whopping 2,197 base experience points. That's one of the highest that's been uploaded on the entire What Replays website for this patch. As well as a Radley Walters medal for his 8 kills, that high caliber for 7,300 damage, incredible for a tier 8 vehicle. A tank sniper for dealing a lot of that at long range. Well, actually, when we take a look at it, only 1,592 of his 7,300 damage was at a distance more of 300 meters. And that always makes for an exciting tank destroyer replay. And holy mother of credits, what? 238,000 credits received. That's profit as well. Oh, it's because he's using a personal reserves, but still 189,000 before that. What an all-in-all awesome result, awesome performance here. And IntoOblivion, thank you so much for uploading it on the What Replays website for the community to enjoy, and also putting my name in the title to get my attention. And it's always such a pleasure seeing fans having monstrous games like this. And he puts in the description, got lucky a couple of times and adrenaline was pumping near the end there. I bet it was. And so hopefully all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're watching this as it's released on Sunday, it's time for another World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, thanks to Cashpoint and Bestie on Twitter, who both suggested the AMX 30B, and everybody who backed them up. And this will be the first time that I've showcased the French non-auto loading medium tanks since the AMX 30B changes, and since the AMX 30 prototype had that whopping turret armor buff. And if you've never seen one of my Tech Tree Showcases before, it's like a miniature tank review starting from tier 1 and working my way up towards tier 10, and so you can see if it's a line that's maybe worth investing in, or alternatively, if you already have the vehicles, maybe you can pick up a few tips and tricks. And so really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.